So, hi guys, and welcome back to another Marvel Rivals replay review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Celestial 3-player. They're playing Black Panther and Bucky, or Winter Soldier, on the Midtown map. So we'll try and point out some things that they've done wrong, talk about positioning, maybe highlight some mistakes that you guys might be making as well, and hopefully we can all learn something. We'll have the chat on the screen too, so Bevid will be sharing some of his opinions about what he's done right and what he's done wrong, and we'll all be discussing basically how we can improve and maybe turn this loss into a win. So let's get started.
I am king of my people.
Is there anything specific about this crosshair, Bevid? For anyone as well?
We are in the front. Prepare yourself.
So Bevid is on defense, and you can see how he's just kind of standing up here. He's watching the fight. He's not going in immediately. He's just kind of surveying, waiting for an opportunity. Sometimes I like to stand over here rather than where Bevid is, because sometimes the enemy can come up. As you can see here, we've got a Hela and a Warlock, so we may have been able to catch someone off guard immediately. And we would have maybe been able to let the Hela walk past us, and then we could pop out on this little Adam Warlock on his own. The thing about this bit here and this window, in my opinion, is the enemy team are always going to be grouped in kind of this spot here as the kind of tanks move forward and the payload moves forward. So just, yeah, something to think about. Could we be over there? Could we be here? But this is an interesting spot. We are able to escape by going this way. And this one over here, we're able to escape by kind of coming this way, dropping down. There's just a few more escape options over here. Whereas here's just a little bit limited. You know, we're right next to their spawn. We could get trapped in this kind of building set, and we'll have to go like across the enemy team in order to get back to our supports. Cool. So let's get back to it. So he's positioning. He's going in at the same time as his Venom. Throws his spears out there. Unfortunately, do you miss your shift on somebody? What happens there? So I think we just mess up the combo a little bit there the second time. I'm going to watch it in slow-mo. Go in. No, we missed the Bucky. He gets knocked up into the air. That's sad. So again, though, I think what I've mentioned there, and I think like point slightly proven, is that by being up here, we've allowed the enemy team to flank, and they've got the advantage on flanking. So look at the chaos that this Hela causes on our team, because we're going in on both the supports and on the Winter Soldier, whereas we could be just putting that pressure over here on the Hela. A big thing I watch for with Black Panther games is the pathing they take when they do their combo. Are they spreading their damage out too much, or are they focusing on one target? Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that, Wolf, and that's a really good point. You get an audio cue for it. Yeah, I've not played enough Black Panther. It's that little scratch noise, isn't it? No? So it made that noise twice. Oh well. But yeah, our backline's under pressure. And the Hela gets away on the tiniest little bit of health. You picked off one target there, the cloak. It's got a bubble down, it's time to leave. Yep. And this is the thing about Black Panther that a lot of people don't do. There's downtime, guys. When you're playing people like Wolverine, Iron Fist, Magic, Black Panther, there's downtime between your cooldowns. So it's always really important to make sure that we're not wasting cooldowns. We're getting in, we're getting out, we're resetting, yeah, we're building up our ult charge. We're just causing a little bit of chaos, causing supports to use there. So just here as well, like target acquisition. He should be your target every time for me. Like, I know he's got he can heal himself, and he's got his soul bonds and things like that, but he's got no maneuverability. He cannot escape from you. You know, these people that you're about to go on, Hela, she's got her shift. Cloak, she's got her bubble. Sue, I guess she can go invis. You know, we've got the pulls. So, just a slight little target acquisition mistake there, I think. Look, you can even see how far away he is from everyone else. No one's even looking at him. So, this could... And you know the thresholds for kills. So, what combo do you need to do to kill Adam Warlock? How much health does Adam Warlock have? Does anyone know off the top of their head? 250. So can't you do your throw dash E and he's dead? Yeah, spear dash, and he's done. So I think for you, Bevid, that's an easy kill. Because we watched one of your games before, just as we watched one of your good games, and we saw that you were able to do stuff like that really, really easily. So I think it's just a poor choice of target. He genuinely out heals my combos, true, but you can see here he's used one of his heals, and if we click on him, I know you don't know this, but it's something to try and keep an eye on. He's only got one heal available. His soul bond's cooldown. We get a different kill. No. Again, we just do a little bit. The rest of our teams died. I guess we haven't contributed too much towards what's going on right now. We have done nearly the most damage. We are part of the team to only get it, but the team's just under a lot of pressure. And again, you're going on the cloak here. I think we're just choosing targets that are visible to other healers. And let me just check the warlock thing that people are talking about in chat at the moment. So healing amount does 95 and it heals him for 35 and it bounces twice. So I think when it can bounce back to him, but otherwise it's just going to do 35. But again, I want to test that on warlock because he's one of those supports I haven't played a lot of. Cloak is 250, Invis is 275, so I can go Invis, so I kindly usually ignore her. That could be the problem I've developed. It could be, yeah, if you've kind of got a habit of going for certain people because of health pools. But I think here for me, while Cloak is in this form, does she have her right click available? She does. So if you go on her and she right clicks, you know, what are you going to do? And that's exactly what she does. She goes into her right-click mode. And she just escapes. Whereas, look, the Sue, you know, Spider-Man's gone in there too. Should we be timing to go in with Spidey? I understand I understand the arguments you're making. But it's just for me, like, just go for the healer that's on their own a bit more. You know, wait for Spider-Man to come in a little bit more. Like, you've got two divers on your team. The reason you got wrecked by that dive team the other day is probably because you both got dived. Well, she noticed she was taking damage, Debamon. She realised she was taking damage from a difficult position. She might not have known what she was taking damage from. She might not have even realised it was a Black Panther. But she knew that standing where she was getting her killed. So she used her abilities to get out of there. So look, I don't even think we look to check where Spidey is. Where is he? He's not that far. You know, time it with Spider-Man. If you go in with Spidey, they're both dead. Oof, rough. You get away. And you're moving back onto the flank. Your Spider-Man's dead. Oh, this is aggressive. I would have liked to have seen you not throw anything there. Just carry on walking right. Just make them paranoid. So here, don't throw anything. Just keep going this way a little bit, maybe. You know, hide behind this pillar for a second. Then maybe give them a bit of paranoia. Move over to this pillar. Run up that pillar. And jump over. Cause them a bit of grief. Make them be scared. Make them want to turn around. You know there's a health pack over there. You know there's a health pack up here. You know, if you take a little bit of damage, you can just go get one of those health packs. You know there's a health pack behind this window too. Because I know you know where all the health packs are, Bevid. Just cause a bit of paranoia for them. But instead, we kind of walk forward a little bit too far. And then we run away. So we're not really helping stop this push here. Our cooldowns are now low. We're half health. And we're just at the back, not able to put any pressure. Like, imagine if we were still behind this little wall here. Or we'd moved over to this wall. You know, we can see the Adam on his own. We can start pressuring that backline a little bit earlier. We can make the healers turn around while the stranger's going in. It's just how much of a nuisance can we be? It isn't just about killing people sometimes. And look where you end up anyway. You end up exactly where I wanted you to be. Yeah, I completely agree. Black Panther into 3 supports is useless. If I'm getting wrecked by a Black Panther, I will ask my stack or the randoms to go 3 supports because he can't do a lot versus them. But we know Soul Link's up. If Soul Link's up, we're not getting kills here. Soul Link is so strong now. And we die for it. Yeah, you get too greedy, Bevid. You're not respecting Soul Link. It's Soul Link on everybody as well, or 4 people, or 5 people. Yeah, this is a no go. But if we were there earlier, as I mentioned, could we have forced out that Soul Link to be a slightly worse one? Could we have caused a bit more chaos? Because look how free. By the time we get there, look at where the DPS are now. Looking at you. Yeah, it's tickle monster time. And I'm not surprised you die there. It's just, yeah, it's greed. So you've just not, you've not respected the Warlock. This is where you realise that, you've realised that that just isn't doable anymore. You can't keep going in, so you've swapped. Negative damage. That there, I think, comes down to your initial positioning too. You know the fight isn't at this point yet. So if we just go back. Not that far. Here. Why don't we try and engage from this POV? Make them turn to look a different direction. Yeah, don't stand in the path of damage. Your 2 tanks are standing here. Clobber Time Man is standing here. Now, I know you don't know this because you can't see through walls yet. But in 9 times out of 10, the enemy team are going to be looking this way to deal damage. And we just walk out and we stand here. Clobber Time Man, he's waiting for Lunar Ult to end. No, he's not. He throws it. You get caught. Suot goes off, but you're stunned for a bit. You're just not able to help out. Whereas if we're stood over here, popping shots, causing some issues, make them turn, we could pull some attraction. Maybe we get a kill. Maybe we get a pull on somebody. Not enough people do this. Guys, if Hela's ulting and you're in a friendly support ult, or you're in a safe position, all just turn up and shoot her. The quicker you all turn up and shoot her, the quicker her ulti ends. She drops down, and it's game over. Sadly, no one else on your team was shooting it, which is why you end up dying. There was a Cloak and Dagger ulti at your feet too, which is why you're not choosing to fight anybody else. I understand that. But we need to be ready for when that Suot drops, that we're not just stood exactly where we are now. Look where we are. So we've got the thing in our face. Our 2 supports are over there. We spent the whole time looking at Hela. We haven't paid too much attention to what's going on. We're stood in a danger spot. Exactly, Wolfin. We're in somewhere where we're just at aggression. Hela spotted us because we've been shooting her the whole time. And she takes us out. So I would have been here. I'm inside Suot. I'm behind a wall. I'm able to turn and look a bit more. I'm near my supports. If the Hela ult ends, I'm able to... Not really LOS her, because she can just hit on the left or the right. It's just, I think you've got a little bit of false sense of security here, Bevid. I'm not going to fault you on your aim. You hit her head every time, But look, your team get the aggressive fight here without you.
Doesn't last.
And if you were there, you guarantee that win. Yeah, hard to miss. Well, you'd be surprised, Wolfin. I've watched a few bronze and silver games. So I think our positioning so far It's the reason why we've not gotten kills. Because we've just been dead so much too. Look, you know, we've been dead twice. Spider-Man's died 4 times, God forbid. That's what Spider-Man's love to do. Nice positioning here. Slightly too aggressive for me. Yeah, yeah. I liked your positioning when we were back here, Bevid.
Much better.
So, here. Stand on this wall. Natural cover. Boom. 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 Shoot. Like this. In and out. In and out. In and out. Yeah, this death's bad. Yeah, 100%. This is 100% on you. There's literally no reason for you to be here. There's even less reason for you to be here. And even less of a reason for you to have popped on this corner. I think what the problem here, Bevid, is you've realised you're not doing very well. So you're overcompensating. You're playing over-aggressive to try and make up for the fact that you've been playing poorly. And this is what happens sometimes. Never admit your fault. Your team will latch onto that and blame everything on you. I def tilt myself this game, yeah. I don't agree with that one, Wolfin. Yes, some people do that, but I will respect someone 1,000,000 times more if they go, that was my bad, guys. And I will be like, okay, cool. You know, I trust this guy. We're going to move forward with this guy. You know, yeah, I don't know. I just respect someone who knows when they've made a mistake, because I do it too. Like every single time I die, I review how I died. You know, sometimes I like to blame the tank or the DPS or the healer, but 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, it's my fault. But yeah, so, you know, it's just way too aggressive here, Bevid. You're overcompensating. You feel that you're playing poorly, so you need to do stuff. The fact that we stand there as well in a cloak and dagger vulnerability wall, don't try and run, is, yeah, it's just, I can see you're tilting. Because you know better than this.
Again.
So I'm glad you haven't just walked forward here. Probably not worth trying to hook the thing. I know you've probably done it to just... Actually, I'm going to correct myself. You haven't tried to hook the thing here. You're just popping it in order to get reload. I hope. Yeah, the thing... Does it? Yeah, but it doesn't like stun. It doesn't pull him towards you. It doesn't... It's not a long enough of a stun to justify not just shooting him, I think. Yeah, stuns him for a second, but what's that going to do in this situation here? Especially when you do it. Look at his health. His health's like really, really full. I'd agree with you if he was... Yeah. Spidey should just be able to... Yeah. I guess. You know, probably one of those small things. But I'd want to keep my charge for maybe if I poke the wall. See here. This is where I'd want my pull for now. This is what I'd want my pull for now. This. Look at the Bucky. He's put himself out of position. Now I can, you know, use my ability to use the fact that he stood somewhere. Oh, that's so sad. Guys, can we get some Fs in the chat for that ulti? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Much better.
Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, we're slow-moing it. Bevid, that would tilt me, brother. Also, I'm disappointed there's not a single F in the chat for my boy Bevid. Come on, guys. I'll start the F train. Let's watch that one in slow-mo. Let's see it in all its glory.
Much better. Armed and dangerous.
I tell you what, that light post is never going to talk shit to you again, is it, Bevid? Yeah. So he's gone into the ceiling, and this is what he's hit. This little little set of lights. No, I had no clue the lights count as ground either, brother. No, close quarters are not kind to Winter's ult. But, like, I think it's, you know, a decent time to ulti.
Much better.
Oh, so sad. Oh, you you even look up here as well, Bevan. I can tell that you're tilted, brother. Sorry, I'm not going to put it on again, I promise. It's this, guys. Look at this. I'm sorry, Bevan. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll move on. We'll move on. We'll move on. Oh. Yeah, you do try and swap to Winter Soldier. I was a little bit worried you were just focusing the thing a bit too much there, but you do try and swap to Winter. Thing's just in the way. Yeah, it's not a good round so far. 1-4, no final hits. You have done the most damage, but we have spent a long time punching the thing. Oh, sorry, shooting the thing. They still 3 support? They are still 3 support, okay. This is fine. This is fine. That, not so much. Yeah, I don't think I like the 1 second stun. I don't think it's worth anything. Like, I don't think there's any problem. Disagree with you slightly, Wolf. I agree that he needs to take a different angle, but I think here the best thing he can do is just shoot the thing. Because the thing is just otherwise going to go and beat up his cloak and dagger. But then as soon as this thing goes, we need to think about repositioning ourselves. Pulling back behind this wall. Getting some shots down here. We could think about moving up onto this bit up here. Sorry, my cat is trying his hardest to crawl up my legs to sit down. Come on, Jeff. You know, start getting some different angles, using the high ground a little bit more to kind of shoot and abuse and get parts of it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with shooting the thing initially, but just your kind of basic position here. You like to stand in the main channel, the main line. I think you flank enough on Black Panther to know where good angles are. Yeah. He is stood where his tanks are supposed to be, but sadly he's got a solo tank thing. And his thing is just killing himself on repeat. So if we just go back slightly. Well, you get away, but remember what we said. Like, look at where you're stood. And I've said this to people in other games as well. You're playing tank. You're playing winter tank right now. Or tank soldier. You know, we're not using the high ground. We're not using any angles. We're not using natural cover. Yeah, he didn't have a tank at the time, but that doesn't mean you need to pretend to be the tank. And again, we kind of stood in the main channel, so we're just at risk of... you try and pull him, that's really unfortunate. I know you're staying in the Lunar ult here, which is what you're just trying to... Then as soon as the Lunar ult ends, you're going to die. And they're just going to keep walking it. So I just don't think you guys have recovered as a team yet. And that's because you're... What you need to realise is that by being in aggressive positions, Bevid, you encourage the rest of your team to be in those aggressive positions too. So you standing here encourages the Luna. Just look at the way you push up, so the rest of the team pushes with you. It's crazy. It's such a subconscious thing, and it's, you know, it's about staying together, but you take the pressure off this front line here by being on this side point. You know, force them to come this way by being up above. Force them to look at you up here, or just stand back at this point. Stand at this wall. Just pop from this wall. Like, you need to wait for your thing to come back. So Warlock dies. No, he doesn't. This thing is just, yeah, that's the thing's fault. That he goes in so hard. But the fight starts early because you're too far forward. And again, you know, I'm not saying you're to blame. That's the reason the fight was lost. You know, we could look at every single person. So you were hoping for a Magos Strange swap. Did you type in the chat? You know, Hela's causing issues. We need a shield tank. You voiced it. Cool. That's fine. Always important to voice it, but you need to voice it positively. If you say to the thing, you're doing shit, swap. I could promise you if I'm playing that thing, I don't want to swap anymore. But if you say, guys, this Hela and Winter Soldier are popping us, can we get a Doctor Strange shield? Or can we get a Doctor Strange swap? That's so much more open. You're not blaming anybody. You're pointing about the fact that the enemy team is doing really well and you need a difference. The amount of times I have seen people not swap because someone's just called them shit on their hero, and then in the chat, I'm like, you know, don't call them shit. We need the swap for the team, and I've convinced them because they've then said, I'm not going to swap because you've done blah blah blah. But yeah, so someone else swapped to the mag. Their argue is that we have the same comp. Yeah, I can understand why they're arguing that, but your comp is doing worse. So that's the argument back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and they're playing it better than us, so we need to mix it up. It's the argument I make. But yeah, the Magnetos swapped over now. Who were they before? They were the Luna. So yeah, one of your healers has swapped off, which is probably for the best. Do we get a hold on the final point, though? So again, we're main channeling a lot here. Putting a lot into the tank. Here's Winter Soldier. Get into the health pack. I think a lot of our damage has come from just shooting the thing, Bevid. That's sad. I know you're just trying to survive. And you're playing Ring Around the Roses. And there's a Cloak and ult, Dagger ult down. And there's a Hela ulti up. It's just sad. Yeah, they just kicked your ass there. Yeah. You know, I think the only argument we could make and talk about and discuss is your positioning. So, you know you've got ulti. Could we exit out the right door? Could we walk up the ramp? And could we put aggression onto the back line from here? Where the payload is. Yeah, you were very aggro. You were kill thirsty. You were hungry. You were pissed off. You know, don't make me rewind back to the ulti from earlier, Bevid, and piss you off some more. I get it. But as Wolfins just said in the chat, what was the plan? I don't feel like you took a moment to reset and think, how can I change this game? I've got my ulti. What am I going to do here? I think I talked about that ult the next game. But yeah, I completely agree. I just feel like we were planless. We weren't figuring out what wasn't working. Like this here, what are we gaining? Like our ult's up, our ult's ready. Like we're just firing into a crowd. I want to see us up here. You know, I want to see us shooting. Maybe pull the Warlock up to you and smash him, destroy him. Get your ult going on the back line. You know, leave those two to duel. Look how free they are back here. I reckon if you're up here, by the time you come out the door and you walk up there, you're there in time to kill that soon. Just look, zero pressure from this angle. It's all coming down this channel here. And the Winter Soldier causes, you know, you guys have a little duel. Hela ults aggressively. The fight may have not gone any differently. And you may still end up losing that round, but I would like to have seen just some more high ground, some more flanking, some more side routes, especially on a ranged hero. I don't know why I'm sat here waiting for the timer like I'm watching a live stream. Again, we're playing very frontline. Remember what that Hela did last game? You know, she came up here. He talked about triple sport, so swap back. Yeah, because they probably were going to run it again. Play up here. Play the high ground. Play around here. Shoot them. Cause issues. You know there's a health pack there. You know there's a health pack around here. You can do a little bit of high ground, a little bit of flanking, a little bit of off angling. You play enough Black Panther to know how effective it is. So why are we not doing it on our Bucky? I guess I'm more reserved on Bucky because I don't feel he has a lot of movement, and this Heller I was worried would out hit scan me. Understandable. I think for me, Winter Soldier is actually one of the strongest 1v1. Yeah, low ego, but you can't put yourself down. You've got to continue to tell yourself that you're gonna win or that you're gonna do better. You can't accept that you've lost before the game is over. Is the biggest thing. I didn't see it, but we won. But yeah, I'd like to see you up on the high ground, just kind of causing some issues. But yeah, I think he's the best 1v1 hero because all of these abilities give you armor. Is it 75 or 25? I think it was increased to 75 in a previous patch, wasn't it? So you get 40 for the hook and tainted voltage, which is your E, and you get 50 for Trooper's Fist, which is your shift, and Kraken Impact, which is your ulti. Yeah, show me that ego. Like, the only way you're gonna win. Do you think pro gamers like lose one round and then they get low ego and then they decide they've lost? They keep up the aggression. They keep believing in themselves. You can't get tilted. That could be one of the reasons you're still in Celestial, Bevid, is that you tilt yourself. Is that your mental game isn't as strong as your physical game, and you let yourself kind of get in the way of performing. Let's see this hook. Yeah, that's just a lucky hook, but it's a nice reaction from you. Celestial's a massive achievement. I'm still trying to get there at the moment. I was very, 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 very close, and then went on a fat loss streak, and have just been climbing up slowly since. Haven't played as much in Season 1.5 as I did in Season 1. Again, we're just very kind of middle channel here. Very kind of... Got the rocket buff though, let's spam shoot. Yeah, bang, bang, bang. I love this. Kill him, kill him. Yeah, you deserve that kill there. You just... I don't want to say panic, Bevid, but it feels like a panic. You've got your E, you've got your pull. Pull the man in. I guess because he's low, you're worried about him healing himself, so you're trying to kill him as quick as you can. So we missed the shot. We throw out our throw, we throw out our E, he's already dead. I got weak mental for sure. Oh no! Bevid! You can't let this happen, brother.
We're done here.
You can't let this. I'm telling you, if I kill this man and he looks at me like this, I will stare at him until he leaves. Because me forcing him to respawn because he's in a bad position is great. Go back to your spawn point. I don't want you here. I'll happily waste some of my time just staring at you. But he just bullies you. You pay no respect to his passive. I don't think you've played against enough Adam Warlocks, Bevid. Were you waiting for his respawn? But you don't know where he's respawning, I think, is my argument. Oh. I guess you're listening. See, now I say you said in the chat there you pre-charged it.
Much better.
But if you look, you start it once he spawns. So you're still kind of animation locked. So by the time you throw it, he's able to move. And he just kills you. Because he's aimed better, fortunately. The good news is your team's pushing really well. But he then kills your support. And that could be the reason that these two have died. Because the Max stood back here, having to deal with the Winter Soldier. So can you see how you dying up here has led to the tank not moving forward, the two DPS dying on their own, the poor little Rocket Raccoon staring up into the moon is dead on the floor. Again, I'm not blaming you. Yeah, you also pinged him and nobody turned. But that is a moment where our actions have had a consequence. And that's all because you decide to fire some random shots down here towards the Hela. It might sound gold. Can he not respawn? He can respawn if you stare at him, but he's more scared to respawn because he knows that you're looking at him. It's mind games, Bevid. It's mental. If you're a Winter Soldier, sorry, if you're an Adam Warlock and Winter Soldier is staring at you, are you going to want to respawn? Exactly, Wolfen. You're telling him you're going to destroy him. You're telling him there's no chance he's going to survive. You're playing the mental game. You know, watch it from his perspective. He just instantly cocoons and he's looking at you. Because he knows he's going to fight you. I just think you have a bit more of an advantage. He might not choose to do it, but it's the mental game. It's the, you know, it's the back and forth. If you respawn here, I'm going to kill you.
That's what I needed.
I think you've got a little bit of a bad habit with this hook on the thing. I don't like it.
That's what I needed.
I don't think you can stun him out of charge mode either, by the way. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me, anyone. But I feel like he gains some form of immunity. Just moving forward, I wouldn't bother. You're very level with the tank a lot of the time too. You know, look how you're neck and neck with him. It's like you're playing a second tank here. Nice kill. I don't think you've been armed or dangerous with your ultis this game, Bevan, unfortunately.
You're doing major damage.
It's been really sad. Like, you've been so unlucky. Brother. I feel bad. I know why you do it. It's because he's ulted, and you want to kill him as quick as you can before he ults again and wipes your whole team. You're in a Sue ult though, brother. Like, things were okay. You guys aren't under that much pressure. Just shoot him. In fact, do you even... I think you even hit him. Yeah, you get one of the hits on him. So, you know, sadly, we've just been a little bit too eager with that one. Yeah, I can tell you're not happy.
Stick around.
Nice. First good hook this game, brother. And it was not on the thing. And it got you a kill. Like, this is the Celestial Bevid. See, great reactions to get out. Lovely kill onto the Winter Soldier. See, this is what you can do when you're not just shooting the thing all game. He did the thing. Or he didn't do the thing. Or he did the thing not to the thing. However you want to sentence it. See, we're just shooting the thing a bit too much, brother. Yeah, perfect. Nothing wrong with that. It's ulti time. Are we going to just rush use it here? How much of our team is dead here, Bevid? Why don't we go on Cloak and Dagger? Is it because you want to hit multiple people with your ulti? Is that what you change? I get it. I understand. Hit more people, do more damage. Is she an easier kill? Cloak? You know, I know she might change. Or Warlock. I think it's just target priority a little bit there, and maybe my team might finish someone off. Yeah, true. True. But a lot of your team's dead. Let me go in there. I say a lot of your team. Your other DPS is dead. Rocket isn't killing anybody. You know, he's not going to be killing anyone. Yeah. In fact, Punisher's dead before we ult. So Punisher's already dead. And we just have a mag, a rocket, and a Sue. So I probably wouldn't want to ult, yeah. Too thirsty. You know, could we have actually just walked down around here and just shot them a bit? Just shoot the cloak a little bit, get her low, then use your ulti? Just a bit of thirst.
Much better.
And yeah. Unarmed and safe again. And you're just trying to make up. You're trying to make up for what you've done. Yeah, going for a play is fine. And you YOLO'd. But I just think it was poorly timed. And that's our aggression there again, Bevid.
Stick around.
The great hook here, look. You hooking me, guys. What have we said about this passive, man? You know, just put him under a bit of pressure. Make him feel like he can't do it. Keep an eye on him. Where's he going? And then we just full thirst for the Sue.
We make a good team.
Like, look where we are as a Winter Soldier. Remember what you said to me earlier about, you know, you find... in fact, I'm going to read your exact words. Boom, boom, boom. I guess I'm more reserved on Bucky, was what you said. Yeah, not on the tilt. Like, this is tilt. Like, why are we... You just want to kill this lady. You just want more kills. You know, you've whiffed your ult a couple of times. You've allowed your mental game to go down here. Yeah, he's hungry. You've not eaten for most of this game. But yeah, your team struggling. You know, down. Like, the closest person to you is Magic. Everyone is just like, look at this. You got Cloak looking at you. You got Sue looking at you. Winter Soldier looking at you. Adam Warlock's even about to respawn and have a little pop at you too, if he gets the chance. Your team was for sure on you. I was the blame of the game. And if you feel like your team's blame, if your mental game isn't strong when other people start hammering down on you, Bevid, because some people aren't great with criticism, especially in the moment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. We're all people. You know, people say shit to us. It gets to us. Just mute them. Press P and mute them. But yeah, just way too far forward, way too hungry, way too aggressive. Not enough kind of off angles here for me. And when we do take an off angle, it's, you know, it's by the ambulance. So, well, like you've got skill, you've got potential, like you've got the mechanical skills. Oh yeah, we watched him on a Black Panther game, Wolfin, and he was T'Challa. He was the Black Panther. At least they could take me to the hospital.
That's what I needed.
Again, just firing in with the rocket, Zed. Nothing wrong with. Maybe just think about our bullets a little bit more. Like, I know it seems like a really, really tiny thing to say, but just because you've got unlimited, your aim's good. Just because you've got unlimited, just reset where your aim is. Just stop shooting for a moment. I guess you're forcing them to take cover and stuff like that. You know, suppressive fire, as I like to call it. But yeah, spray and pray. This isn't too bad of an angle. I quite like kind of moving over here a bit. You know, obviously the thing's in the way, but it wasn't a minute ago. But I quite like this angle here. Like, kind of like your Magic's taking. Because the thing about the bus is if you go too far around the bus, like you've LOS'd your team. Whereas on this side, you know, there's a little bit more room. You can get to the payload, your team can see you, you've got this bit to run to, you've got this room you can run in. I just prefer the left side a little bit more here, if the right side isn't working. You don't love playing left side angles due to the right side perspective. I get that. but we're not gaining a lot on the right side. I mean, you can create a right side on the left side as well. You can create a right side on this pillar. You know, we can create a right side on the payload, which you have been doing a bit. There used to be a wall here as well. But yeah, you can just kind of create your own right sides. Just the left side doesn't necessarily mean that option isn't there.
Much better.
You know, I can see you playing the off angle, just trying to make them not comfortable being on the right. Oh, you went fishing and you caught a bucky, so that was good. Another good hook, not thrown at the thing, resulting in a kill. Don't hook him. Come on now, Beverly. Oh, very nice. Very nice. See this? Spray and pray, baby. You kept shooting, you know. Your aim's good. That, not so much. Maybe I'm wrong. I was a little bit worried because we were in the Su ulti that we weren't going to be able to kill him. So, you know, I initially said no, that's a bad one. But the good news is, you know, Punisher's shooting him with the rocket Z up at the same time as you shooting him. You can kill through. Okay, so you've got enough Bucky experience to know you can kill through. But you might not have been able to. You know, you never know. Maybe just wait a couple more seconds. Maybe wait until his ulti's finished so you can pop everyone. You do end up killing him, which is great, but he's already got his ult off by the time that you've done it. And then, again, we just throw our Q out very, very quickly. Where's Su gone? We don't know. Because you've got, what, 6 seconds after you use your ulti to pop another one? So do we just wait for the Su ult to end there? Slightly? You know, we missed both the supports. And that's because we're rushing to try get it at the same time as the Warlock. And who would he end up hitting in the end? We hit the Thing. The Thing is the only one we hit. And we're never going to kill the Thing. Yeah. Yeah. So really good build up. I don't like the ulti, but again, I'm not a Winter Soldier main. Yeah, Cloak gets a really nice cloak off. And we end up dying because we're in a very aggressive position. I just want to review it when you ulti as well, where the rest of your team is when you do it. So you walk into the Su ult, you're behind your mag, but you are now the person at the front. Where's Mag gone? Oh, he's in the sky. You're the furthest up on your team. So it's just a little bit safer, a little bit less hungry, slightly better positioning, a little bit more restrained on the ult, you know, just wait a second or two. You know, it's a really good Adam Warlock ulti as well. Let's not take it away from the Adam Warlock there, guys. Like, he brings back 3 of his team. Yeah, the positioning isn't great. But he nearly manages to save it for his team. Fortunately, the rest of your team were well prepared. And they're able to get it here. And the kills you got before that as well helped lead up to that as well, Bevid. So you did contribute there, but it's just that slight over-aggression again. It's a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too hungry. You know, you're wanting to get those double kills, those triple kills. Nice. I think you're just a little bit slow to react to that Hela, though. I'm going to be very, you know, if I'm being honest and nitpicking. Oh, you're coming with the Punisher. Sorry, I thought you just misspelt coming. That ult was entirely for counter on the Adamant. I was hoping the Su would end when teammates respawn because they would spawn ultable. I was just like off timing. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Bevid, and I'll agree with you that you use that ulti to counter Adam. If you do watch it in slow-mo, though, you pop it the exact same time Adam pops his. So, you know, you've got some very, very fast reactions, brother. But I think just here with the Hela, I'd like to see you just pay a bit more attention to the fact that you may have a chance to kill her when you go around this corner. Because she uses her shift and actually flies towards you, or like flies in a direction where you can see her. And it does just take you a little bit. No, you do end up killing her, but I would have just liked to see a slightly faster reaction to the fact that you can shoot up there at her with some water magic. That's true. That's true. It is common for Adam to pop in the middle of Sue ult. You're right. You're very right. So you're using prior game kind of experience to know to go for her. I'll agree with you more now, Bevid. I'll submit. I'll submit to the celestial mindset. Yeah, it's a very good point. See, I learn things by playing DPS, by watching DPS games, because I don't play a lot of DPS. I learn so much by watching stuff like this.
This should help.
Nice. It's going well. You know, I don't think I have much to comment on. I was too busy talking about stuff there, but I don't think I have too much to comment on there. I think your positioning was better than other fights. You know, you're behind your mag shield. Little bit aggressive with the push to the right there, which almost ends up in you dying. You know, you go to challenge the Psylocke, you go to hook her. Again, you're behind your mag, you're near the payload. You're using that natural cover, you're not just shooting the thing. So yeah, a decent fight. Not a lot to complain about there at all.
This should help.
Get revenge on this man. Get revenge on this man. Oh, the aggression, the aggression, the aggression.
That's what I need.
David, am I going to say it again? Our ult, we're too thirsty, brother. Rewind just a little bit more. We got a cloak and dagger ult on the floor. I know you're seeing cloak go low. I know you're putting bullets into her, you know, and you see her go down to this amount of health. And look, you even get her again. Like, it's unfortunate she doesn't die here. Maybe if the Punisher was shooting her at the same time as you, she would. But jumping down is A, the first thing you've done wrong. There's absolutely no reason we should be jumping down into this cloak and dagger ulti here. B, Adam Warlock's about to res in front of you. So our hook's back in 3 seconds. Hook him back up, murder him. You know, keep him away from his team. Instead, we've used our ult into the supports. You know, Adam's come back. He's used his soul one. You're going for the kill and to pop Sue. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But I think it's too early. You know, you've got your Sue ulti. Wolfin might not like that I'm going to say this, but let's just go shoot the thing. And you can, yeah, you can keep shooting her. You can keep shooting the Sue. You can tag them all from the high ground. And then just that over-aggression. Look, Sue, Cloak just pops her bubble down. Cloak's just used her ult, so Cloak, like, I love Cloak and Dagger. I don't put my bubble, I use my bubble, and then I'll probably use my ulti. By the time my ulti's finished, 9 times out of 10, my bubble's going to be back. Yeah, you didn't think Sue was going to have their ult. Well, when did you last see the Sue ulti? It was in the fight, all the way back at the other point. And the Cloak, what's the thing's name? Oh, I was a little bit worried it was going to be something else, Wolfing, because I've had some terrible names in the games that I've watched. So it's nice to see a wholesome one for once. But yeah, just a slight over-aggression there, Bevid. You know, use the high ground.
That's what I needed.
And then the Sue ult comes out, counters you. I don't mind the positioning here. I like that we're taking the off angle to try and make something happen. The rest of the team's dead. So, you know, let's try somewhat wild. But yeah, just over-aggression. You know, not using the high ground when we had the advantage. We could have killed the Adam Warlock again, maybe. Yep. 40 seconds left on the clock. Time to regroup.
My mission isn't over yet.
You do have a Doctor Strange, so maybe you've got one. Oh, he's using his portal now. This is sad. This, guys, please. You know, it might take 30 seconds to walk there, but in a position like this, you know, maybe I'm wrong, and you guys can correct me in the chat, but I think I would prefer to go in there, play aggressive on Strange, die, and then portal in overtime. I don't know the timing, and it might be something worth learning, how long it takes, especially if I like Doctor Strange, how long it takes to walk from here all the way to there, because maybe it does take 30 seconds. I don't think it does. I reckon it's probably about 15 to 20. I reckon you guys get to that point. Yeah, you can make it there in 30 seconds, absolutely. Yeah, you are right, Wolfin. A lot of strangers don't use their portals, but I like to use it for that kind of. But maybe we would stagger in though. Yes, I don't think you'd stagger in the 30 seconds. You guys would make it here in time. But I like the portal for that overtime stagger, where somebody's died and the portal brings someone back. So I do play a little bit more aggressive on Strange in that final overtime, and it might be why I die. But I know I've got my portal. I'm going to play aggressive so that I can maybe get a kill as I die. So I'll go on the supports or I'll go on the tank. I know we're talking about Bevid here, but little strange tip for anyone in there. Just play aggressive, die, then portal back in and put the portal kind of somewhere safe. This is going to be a no ult fight. So it's going to be really interesting to see if you guys manage to get this, or they manage to defend it. I do like his portal position as well, though. The only thing I would argue is that he's put it in the sky, where if your supports jump through, they're dead. I would maybe like it here. You know, I would like to see it here on the side. The reason being is that your supports, when they're fighting, have natural cover to hide behind. If you all drop out here, where are your supports going to go? So anyone who's thinking about playing Strange, just think about, you know, am I just putting my supports somewhere to die? It'd be interesting to see if that's why the supports actually die in this fight. Yep. So that portal gets the kill on the cloak. And because of the positioning, it gets the kill. You ignored the Psylocke. I knew that was going to happen as soon as you turned around.
That's what I needed.
You're unlucky not to kill her. Here, you're dueling with her, Bevid. You're dueling, and then you just decide you're not anymore. But she hasn't given up on the duel. You know, you're dueling with her there. You're dueling with her there. Dueling with her here. You're still dueling with her here. And then we shoot the thing. Your team called infinite ammo. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. But can't you just turn back to her here while we're in the infinite ammo, or we could step out and look at her? She just wrecks us here. Not much else to say. Yeah, we turn away from someone we're in a fight with. Not the Warlock ulti. Your team's just lacking. I think that little bit of extra damage that you would be able to give them here. Oh, no. No. Things are fine. Nice. Team gets it. But I think that's the second point they've capped while you were dead. I think they capped the first point when you were dead, and they capped the second point when you were dead. Again, I get where you're going here. Could we do this from here? Where there's a health pack safe and there's other walls and stuff. Yeah. It's just, I've started using this alley a little bit more. Just something I'm trying to work into my game, is this area. Because of the health pack here and the health pack there. I just think it's a really, really good position for an aggressive kind of attack. Yeah, easy hook as well. You know, maybe you hide a little bit. You know, you hide just here. Someone pushes, you hook them. But I get it. You're just standing here. You're trying to put some aggression out. You're trying to build up your ulti. Nothing wrong with it.
Only 60 seconds left.
And actually, maybe if you go up here, the thing can hella kill you. So,
Come back here.
David, you hooked the thing again, brother.
Stand in your way. Only 60 seconds.
Maybe your aim's just slightly off. Oh, you didn't know it was the thing. Okay, I'll give it. I'll let you off on this one. I'll give you one. I'll give you one free one. But is that where maybe you just take a second to figure it out? I guess it's the element of surprise coming around the corner. Yeah, you and Punisher just absolutely melt her here. Very nice. Did we just hook the thing again, Bevid? Alright. Benefit of the doubt on this one. He jumped. And he body blocked. So I'd say that one's a 50-50 your fault. 50-50 him playing well. It was a decent hook, except he hit the thing. Yeah, he's always in the way. I told you he's fat. He's a fat man. He's a fat kitten hugger. Oof. YOLO.
That's what I needed.
100% health. 100% health. 100% health. 85% health. 95% health. Healing bubble. Yeah, I can see it. I can tell. As soon as you went up, Evan, I could tell. I can see you looking around. There's 32 seconds left in the game. We're not at the final point yet. You better have a YOLO emote when you get affiliate. I think we'll need it. I think we'll need it. Save your ulti. Save your ult. The payload is moving. Well, the payload's not moving at the moment because your man's coming here. But the payload was moving. You know, keep your ult for when the fight needs to be turned. Hold on to it for a little bit longer. Hold on to it so that when you kill them, the game's over. Yeah, you're on a tilt and you never got out of it. And that's why we're seeing so many mistakes, Bevid. When we watched that other Black Panther game where you were smashing it, we didn't see any mistakes.
Armed and
Yeah, I can see you. And that's it. Like, you look down here to see, oh, is the thing low enough for me to kill him? And then you realise, oh, God, why have I popped this? And I can see you just want to run away as soon as you use it. Honestly, should have just gone on the thing. You forced the sumo out. Yay. Can we just watch the other Winter Soldiers ulti there for a moment? His is a bit YOLO, but it's while your team's under pressure, you know? The thing is, though, if you're getting diffed, you have to change it up. You know, you have to. Maybe you aren't the DPS this game. And you need to be tank, or you know.
Good thing I was here.
Which is why I like to have tank and healer. I like to have two roles I'm good at.
This is your big chance. The final 10 seconds.
But look, even let's say you wipe them all here with your ulti. You know, let's say you can't tank, but I can heal. Yeah, you know, maybe you drop to 3 healers here. If it's not working, or maybe it's time you learn tank, Bevid, because I think it's important to have a rough understanding of each role in order to outplay those roles when you play against them. You do try to learn tank. Good. But yeah, like let's say you wipe them all here. They're still. Oh, have we got overtime? No, we don't. You know. Oh, that's so sad. That's really, really well played by the cloak there. Could you have stopped her?
Where?
So you remember when we were watching the tank game earlier and we spoke about pushing aggression? I guess you're trying to have 3 on payload, but that could be done with Mag, Sue, and Rocket. I think you should be up here with Magic right now. But yeah, I'd like to see you more aggressive here. I'd like to see you where your Magic is. And again, it's one of those moments. If I can get a kill here, if I can stop somebody getting to the point. I was about to say that, lol, don't take my jokes. It's just, I would like to see you fighting to even stop the cloak. Like, imagine you're stood here with Magic on this wall, and you hook the cloak as she comes out, and you just kill her. Then you guys get this point. Because look, the cloak actually comes in with her ult and touches at the last second. It's the cloak. It's the cloak. Yeah, work with your team. Go with that Magic. Cause that aggression with her. I know we've spoken about being too hungry or being too aggressive, but this was a time that called for it. But yeah, let's see what you do in this fight. Already, this is what's wrong. Mag is dead, which he shouldn't be. I don't know how he dies. Okay, Mag just gets shot by every... Debamon, is this... Debamon, what's this Mag done wrong here? You did it in your games. Do you remember? Mag ain't used no abilities. He's not used his shield, he's not used his shift, he's just stood there and he's been shot. Yeah, of course he should shield himself here.
We have a winner.
Of course he should. Wolfen says should make a... Yeah, he didn't use his Iron Curtain. Spot on. He does nothing. He just stands here, takes 1,000,000 damage, and just tries to run away. Like, what is this? Terrible. But then you, Bevid, you're now playing... Like, you should be called Tank 2 instead of Bevid 2, because look where you are now. This Cloak and Dagger's ulting, their whole team are walking out of here. They've got a rocket set down, they've got a rocket amplifier up. I know you want to do kills, I know you want to kill people. Well, you're not going to. Yeah, Celestial, by the way, exactly, Wolfen, on the Magneto. Celestial. That's a Celestial Magneto who's not used his abilities and just died. Like, everyone makes mistakes, guys. But this is where we could be. Natural cover of the payload. You know, I love standing here. I love standing here on Rocket as well, because Rocket's smaller than the payload and nobody can see him. But I think you're just going to die stood here now. Yeah. Exactly what happens. You're stood exactly where the Magneto was, but Magneto has more health than you, and bubble, and shield. Look where your Punisher is. You know, your Magneto's coming back because of the OP rocket respawn beacon. Unfortunately, they just have more ultis now, and they kill you. And we lose the fight. I wouldn't say you threw that fight, Magneto threw that fight. But then Magneto's mistake led to your mistake. And your positioning there. Like we said, we should have been up with the Magic to stop that Cloak and Dagger coming in, to try and make sure that the game ended, 3.84 meters off. It probably would have been the dub. And then Magneto just takes 1,000,000 damage. Then you take 1,000,000 damage. And then it's just down from there. Thing's just able to walk in and ult. It's just a sad one.
Final score 2-3.
I think you've said it yourself in the chat, Bevid. You were tilted. You lost control of the mental game. You felt that you needed to make up for your poor performance from the first round. Absolutely. You did turn it around from 1-5 to 25-11. Definitely. You contributed more to the game. But just remember as well, when your team capped the first point on attack, you had died. When your team capped the second point on attack, you had died. So, and on the third point, we were one of the first to die as well. So if I'm taking anything from this, and I'm Bevid, it's that I need to play slightly more defensive. I need to be a little bit further behind my tanks. I need to be playing the off angles a little bit more. Your other DPS died a lot as well, yeah. You know, Magic died 15 times. Your Punisher died 12 times. You know, Magics are going to die that much, though, because they're in the backlines. You know, if a Magic dives in and gets 3 kills, but then she dies, I think that's a worth. You know, she's going to be in those difficult positions. But as a Bucky, you're a ranged hero. You don't need to be in those difficult positions. You can be further back. You know, you should have some of the lower deaths on the team. Like, look at the Hela. The Hela had 9 deaths. But yeah, I think overall, just a bit too aggressive, a little bit too far forward. You know, positioning was decent for most of it. You gave up some high ground a lot of the time. You hooked the thing a lot. We won't talk about the ultis because I don't want to put you on a tilt when you go and play a game after this one. We all saw it in 4K. You know, it's going to get clipped. But there's no reason why you can't climb Bevid. There's no reason why you can't win and do better. You know, we've watched it, we've seen it in your other games. I think it's just one of those rough ones where you let yourself get tilted and you didn't come back.